Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 8, brought to you by our number one news provider, Eswatini TV. I am Nondumiso Vilagata alongside Namakabiso Nkambule, and here are your top stories. Ingoskat Nkambule has encouraged everyone who can assist those in need, as every person can do things that the other person cannot do at that particular juncture. Deputy Prime Minister Mangosuthu has encouraged pupils to preserve culture. The High Court has sentenced Nelisa Tlachwayo to 15 years imprisonment for the murder of Stanley Dlamini, who was a prosecutor. The news in detail. His Majesty King Mswati III has commissioned the Elections and Boundaries Commission to announce the extension of voter registration dates to Sunday, the 18th of June 2023. Registration was expected to end on Wednesday. This announcement was made by the EBC at Nganini on Wednesday evening.
Following the massive response by Eswatini to register for the 2023 general elections, especially towards the registration deadline, it has pleased His Majesty to command the EBC to extend the registration deadline to Sunday, the 18th of June 2023 at 6 p.m. It is the Commission's hope and belief that Eswatini will take advantage of this extension and register in numbers, young and old, as they have already done so in the initial registration period. Ngetengasala nasakhalive lethu. Baethe wena waphakathi.
Wena waphakathi.
Ingoskat Nkambule has encouraged everyone who can to assist those in need, as every person can do things that the other person cannot do at that particular juncture. Ingoskat was speaking through Her Royal Highness Princess Sibahle when handing over blankets to Eswatini who are in need of them.
Inkosikati Nkambule started this initiative in 2007 with the aim of helping those in need of blankets to keep warm during winter time. Since then, this initiative has been happening annually. This year, Inkosikati donated about 1,220 blankets. 800 blankets were donated to 5 chiefdoms, coming from the 4 regions, as each chiefdom got 40 blankets. About 160 blankets were presented to 8 churches. 3 non-governmental organizations received about 80 blankets. Media houses, including Eswatini TV and the Outside Broadcasting Unit Department, also received the blankets from Inkosikati. About 180 blankets were given to the media houses, as each media house received 20 blankets. Also present during the event were Manzini, their Royal Highnesses Prince Manzini and Princess Sibahle and Princess Situmolesihle. Inkosikati Nkambule, who was represented by Her Royal Highness Princess Sibahle, expressed gratitude to their Majesties for blessing and making this annual event a success.
Umbhalo longcwele uthi ningatsinwa kwendalo kuhle. Galatia 6 verse 9 to 10. Kungumthandazo wethu kuthi ningatsinwa kwendalo kunje aze abuye Jesu kulandza libandla lakhe. Lamavesi achubeka athi njengoba sinemathuba nje asendelo kuhle kibo bonke bantfu. Mother Teresa wake wati, I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together we can do great things. Livesi lethu lithi njengoba sinemathuba nje asendelo kuhle kibo bonke bantfu. Sicelo sethu kini nonke nina beluhlanga kangwane kuthi nguloyo naloyo akabambe lapho angabamba ngakhona kuze kusitakale nanguya umuntu lonesidingo lapho besingeke sifike khona ngoma sibone thina.
Her Royal Highness Princess Buthelezi appreciated the good heart and the love that Inkosikati has for eMaswati.
Ngibonge lokhu makela kwendako singabongi yena kakhulu wenkosi sibonge ingwenyama yemhlaba levumile ukuthi ende nangumsebenzi lomhle kangaka le kuthi na kuthi kutawufika lo sikhathi lesi bantu bami sebagolodela kuthi ngabe sesitawubitwanini wenkosi siyabonga kakhulu angihambule inkosikazi make ngihambule lo lenhlito yakhe lenhle lengakale bonaka ukuthi wonke umuntu akadzingi ukuthi kube khona lo lala angakambathi ngejawu uyabona ukuthi wonke umuntu ufanele ukuthi ambathe eve kushisa nebekunene.
Speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, Chief Juzane assured Inkosikati that the people who are supposed to benefit from this initiative will benefit accordingly.
Inkosikati ke ngenhlitiyo lenhle isibonile ukuthi awu lokhu kungena busika kunetinzanzane letikhona letidzinga tona letingubo siyethembisa kuyo inkosikati sitibongela sonke ukuthi awu lesifiso sayo senhlitiyo kokuthi awu laba labaswele labalekithi lesihleli nabo lebe solo sitibuta ukuthi awu nakungena lobusika sitawubambathisani. Kepha ke kube kuhle enkosikatini makela ngambule ukuthi abone ukuthi angathi khuthuta konke lanako nasehlobeni laphila nabo ukuthi awu ende namsebenzi lomhle kangaka lesubongako namhla simela ekhathelizini sibonga wona ukuthi sinetingubo nje lemakhaya nje bavile ngoba phela siphuma emakhaya.
Sibonga ukuthi inkosikati nebakithi iyahlala icabanga ngebantu labaswele ngoba mawubuka letingubo nje licangeke libathole labantu labathathwa letingubo leti uyabona ke ukuthi kuhlediwe phansi kwacatshwanga kwayofuna tingubo leti kahle kakhulu leti tawubhekana nesimo sonke semakhata ukuthi sive sengwenyama singatholwa lichwa.
Her Royal Highness Princess Tanzile, as the Hoho Regional Administrator, shared her joy that such a beautiful event happens in the Hoho region. As it has been 16 years ever since Inkosikati started the initiative, the number of blankets donated by Inkosikati this year has increased. On the news, I'm Polile Mazia at Eswatini Rare Residence.
The Royal Science and Technology Park Bill of 2022 has passed in Senate. Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Her Royal Highness Princess Sikhanyiso, has thanked senators for their devotion in ensuring that this bill passes. This bill passed earlier today.
The Royal Science and Technology Park Bill of 2022 passed after a close-by-close stage. This was followed by Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Her Royal Highness Princess Sikhanyiso, thanking Senate for its support.
Nalabo laba bonakalisa ukuthi babambise litiko ekwakheni lomthetho eveni noma aphume wabamunye nje tawuse sive siyakhala kusasa ukuthi awukwashoda lokwa nalokwa ke phalithuba nabanetiwe abavelanga labalinye lelunga. Sibonga nje ukuthi timpunga tahlala njalo tiwa nami tivuka lomthetho ochamukelwana nesitifiketi sekuthi uyaphuthuma davele timpunga tasukumela etulu tasibambisa nalamhla ngiyabona ingaphu imorali setulu ngiyabambiseka vele kude namunye lobe nengcingwana lenjani.
Senators also showed their support for the bill.
Ngibonge kusuka le emuva solo sesikuse kubhili yesi7 nyalo solo timbunga tisethwele umuntu njenga chairperson nelikomiti sithi siyabonga kakhulu timbunga leti hloniphekile nakubo baphathi bethu sibonga asicedi.
Sisengapani itaba na chief executive officer wayo lo taba na 5 years kwasatshwa lokhu utawuthi nawo umniketa 3 years angakwati kusebenza kahle atinde kulomnyaka lo wecala ukhanze ukuthi usati familiarizer lo esibili ukhanze ukuthi soyaqala nyalo uzofuna umsebenzi engcenye ngoba phela uyathi usulomnyaka lo daku yamphelela icontract kanjalo nalolo phethe sikhwama.
This legislation is expected to get royal assent before being enforced. For Eswatini TV News, Mangosuthu Vimbela with Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Parliament.
The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku has encouraged pupils to preserve culture. The DPM says culture is what unites Amaswati and makes them unique. Masuku has said this at the Prince of Wales during a Culture Day event held for different schools.
After seeing pupils gathered to participate in a cultural event, Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku needed no invitation to be part of this event. Masuku used this opportunity to educate those young Amaswati about the importance of culture.
Nibusiseke nasetikolweni tenu niqhubeke ningayiyekeli indzaba yemasiko. Emasiko ngona akhalife, emasiko ngona as-identifya as a nation, and nasi united sihlanganiswe ngemasiko nelulwimi lwethu lapha sikhona khona. Chubekani ke bantu abami, kube kuhle lilanga lonke lamhla, niphephe, niphumelele, nitfole inkomishi. Ngemva kwasinonke nidathola inkomishi.
Masuku thanked teachers for organizing this event. He also encouraged teachers and pupils not to lose their cultural identity. For Eswatini TV News, Mangosuthu Vimbela, Mbabane.
The Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Khumalo, has toured Gamula Firm construction site and Zavane area where a firm is to be built. The minister toured these places with potential investors to show them the progress and how they would like their firms to be for them to use for business.
The Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Khumalo, has visited Gamula Firm construction site and Zavane site where a firm is to be constructed together with potential investors.
And the investor sevele iqalele iyatulungiselela ukuthi uma nje bacetha laba labakhago ivele ingene ngekhathi ifake imshini kuqashwe eMaswati. Clinic kune clinic nje lenkulu empeleni letakwenda siciniseko ukuthi bonke labantu labasebenzako la uma ngabe badzinga lusito kutempilo bavele bete khona la kule clinic lekhona lapha kule factory le state of the art clinic. Sibukeke ukuthi le clinic noko sitayivulela nje umphakathi wonke.
Zaid Vahed, an investor from Kingsgate Clothing, says they plead for the support of the community.
Very excited. We are quite impressed with the quality of work. It is most definitely a place that we can invest in. It is. We've worked in Eswatini for the last 4 years, and we can see that the expertise of IPA is growing and growing in terms of clothing manufacturing, and there are many improvements and recommendations that we had made previously that have been taken into account over here. The size also is ideal for 2 large clothing plants.
The construction of the firms will create jobs for Emaswati. The firm at Gamula that is under construction has already hired people from the community. Reporting, I am Thembelihle Maguchwa at Nzevane.
The Minister for Health, Senator Ngozi, says it is important for Amaswati to take care of their health and keep diseases at bay in order to enjoy long and sustainable lives. The minister said this when officially handing over a newly constructed clinic to Nkomazi community.
Minister of Health, Senator Ngozi, emphasizes that government has put in place policies that are in line with those of the World Health Organization to ensure that every Swati accesses prompt and satisfactory health services as provided by local clinics and hospitals.
Umsebenzi wethu lomkhulu kufundzisa sive ngekuphila ukuthi una ufuna uhlala uphilile ufuna wendeni sicwayise sive lapha kukhona tifo letitawuvumbuka kuze hey kunesifo lesithile lesitawuvumbuka lesifo sitawufike sibe nje divikeleni ngalendlela sibese siyafundzisa ngetifo ukuthi nase unalesifo na indlela yokuthi utiphilise lokuthi silethe ema clinic sendela ukuthi nakukhona losukusola usheshe ugijime usonzele khona utovikeleka sifo singaze singene stopele emtimbeni.
Member of Parliament for Ngabayingundla, Zakhele Magongo, says the project could not have been completed successfully had it not been for the effort put by Nkomazi community. The clinic was constructed with funds from Microprojects, which is a government entity entrusted with the responsibility to assist communities in their developmental projects. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, Mbongwa Dube Mbabane.
The Minister for Sports, Youth and Culture, Harris Bulunga, says the Kingdom of Eswatini is a hub for talented people who have a potential to go internationally through arts. The minister says local artists should consider expressing their cultural aspect as it promotes the country. Bulunga was speaking during the official launch of Msandika Baba's gospel album in Eswatini.
Eswatini poet Sandile Msandika Nxumalo is joined as the local artist in the space of national performance since he is currently exploring music. The Minister for Sports, Youth and Culture, Harris Bulunga, says the ministry needs financial support in order to professionalize art.
There is no better way to express art than using cultural expression. It gives a sense of pride and patriotism. Not only that, it also makes people to stop and stare in amazement, and the outcome of that is that the country gets promoted in the process. It is therefore important that every artist, in order to make a meaningful impact in the world market, to never digress from the cultural identity.
Sandile Nxumalo says the art industry in Eswatini has shown growth over the years. Nxumalo thanked the ministry's support as he is preparing for a massive show that will collaborate local and international artists.
The industry art has developed kakhulu, it has reached heights lasetulu.
This addition to the art industry comes during a time where the Minister of Sports, Youth and Culture is putting together the arts and culture policy. The ministry is also working on providing regional arts and culture centers. Eswatini TV News Sondomlangeni, Themba Shabangu, Ezulwini.
The High Court has sentenced Nelisa Hlachwayo to 15 years imprisonment for the murder of Stanley Dlamini, who was a prosecutor. The court says the crime was vicious and brutal, and the accused did not even attempt to assist the deceased after injuring him. The sentence was passed on Wednesday morning.
Before the court passed judgment, it asked the defense and Crown to make submissions on extenuating circumstances in this case. Defense counsel Noncedo Ndlangamandla told the court that the accused is remorseful and sometimes has sleepless nights over his actions. Ndlangamandla told the court that the accused had no intention of killing Dlamini, as this happened while they were both drunk. She also submitted that an 8-year sentence would serve as a corrective measure to the accused. The Crown, on the other hand, submitted that a proper sentence would be at least 20 years. The Crown, which was represented by Principal Crown Counsel Macebo Nxumalo, also submitted that evidence before court was to the effect that after killing Dlamini, the accused said he had killed the dog. Nxumalo also told the court that the accused continued drinking and did not seek help for the deceased after assaulting him. The court then said it did not believe Hlachwayo was remorseful, but he was only sorry for himself. Hlachwayo was seen wiping his tears while the judge read the sentence. The court then sentenced him to 15 years imprisonment and said it put into account the 1 month spent in jail by the accused during pre-trial. This matter was before Judge Maxine Langwenya. For Eswatini TV News, Themgosi Mavimbela with Vuminkosi Nzinisa, High Court.
The Director of Health Services, Dr. Velepi Okelo, encourages Maswati to adopt the habit of donating blood and save lives, as the blood bank always runs short of it. The director says due to various ailments, the number of patients requiring blood transfusion is on the rise. This in the backdrop of the 14th of June being the World Blood Donor Day, and this year's theme is Give Blood, Give Plasma, Share Life, Share Often.
Since we cannot manufacture blood, we cannot buy it, so we rely on you as a living person to donate your blood to another
person who can benefit from it, which is why this month is a reminder of that. There are a number of activities that we have established for the month of June that enable people to go and donate blood in different places, including in the city malls like Mbabane Corporate Place. There's a tent there which you'll find. We are also donating in certain buildings like the UN building. We also find some business establishments that call us. There is blood collection sites that are standing, that are always there. In Mbabane Government Hospital, at the main lab, there's also Manzini, a blood donation facility there, and also Shatikulu. If you are coming to donate, you will still be advised. You will be taken through a questionnaire that will help you to disclose yourself to the worker, so that the worker doesn't put your life at risk by pulling out blood and only to find that you are a person who already has certain illnesses that are predispose you to having low blood levels.
Dear viewers, now take a look at our financial updates. Welcome back. You're still watching Eswatini TV, and for sports news tonight, national team players who are currently in camp preparing for the next round of the AFCON qualifiers got an opportunity to register for this year's elections.
The national team, currently in camp, took some time off from their busy schedule to go register for this year's elections in Kanini, Lubamba. The national team is currently preparing for the next round of the AFCON qualifiers against Togo. Speaking with members of the media, the national team captain Lindo Mkonda says they still believe they can qualify, since mathematically it's still very much possible.
Ngicabanga ukuthi nasishaya ibalo ngekubala chances asesekhona and nase sengalahla ithawula ngeke ize silahla ithawula singakayidlali yonke imidlalo. Sititshelela ukuthi sifuna ukudlala yonke le midlalo, sibone ukuthi nase kubalwa ekugcineni sitawuphethela kuphi. Sitawafaka vele lamandla sendele ukuthi nakubalwa sibuka ukuthi sitawuphethela kuphi. Yes, siyathi ukuthi nayo iTogo iyawathenga kakhulu amaphoyinti because anything lengenteka ku Cape Verde lambi kwethu ungathikhanza nase singathikhanza sesingekhathi.
The coach as well remains positive for a good performance, since they have already played against the opponents, where they drew by 2 goals away in Togo in the first leg. The return match will be played at the Mbombela Stadium on Sunday. Kick-off is at 5 p.m. Eswatini will on the 24th of June 2023 host the regional annual sports awards known as RASA. The event will be organized by the Eswatini Sports Recreational Council. The Chief Executive Officer, Teras Lomo, speaking in a press briefing, says it's all system go, as they have been able to do all their groundwork in preparations for such events. Lomo says they are expecting 350 people for the event, with hundreds of them coming from the 10 countries that have committed to be part of the event. Of the 10 countries, 8 of them have confirmed to send their sports ministers. Members of the public are welcome to buy tickets, and corporates can be able to buy a table of 8 people. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizwe Msibi, Mbabane.
That is all we had for tonight, but before we wrap up, we'll take a quick recap of today's headlines. Inkosikazi Nkambule has encouraged everyone who can assist those in need, as every person can do things that the other person cannot do at that particular juncture. Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku has encouraged pupils to preserve culture. The High Court has sentenced Nelisa Hlachwayo to 15 years imprisonment for the murder of Stendi Dlamini, who was a prosecutor. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Up next is the weather forecast for selected towns. Good night, Eswatini.
Bring on the break